Martial arts cane self-defense techniques class number 2. You're going to be going over more basic techniques, things that are going to get you using your self-defense cane from the day that you get it. You pick it up from the store, you take it home, maybe you've already got one, or you get it in the mail. You're going to be able to use it from the very first class, from this class right here. Start with a cane in the right hand. You're going to have the long side coming out of your thumb, and you're going to crank that thing forward. This is just a basic spinning exercise, a twirling exercise. Show you from the start. Just coming around here. This is designed to get the blood flowing, lubricate the joints, stay safe from injury during this workout. I want you to be injury-free as you learn how to defend yourself with your self-defense or your martial arts cane. So you're going to do this for about 30 seconds, and then you're going to go across the body and back. Slow at first, and then fast. Now we're going to do 2 kinds of spinning today. We haven't done the second spinning for a while, and I haven't introduced it until now because I wanted to wait until you got these basic striking motions. Defend yourself from the first day you get your cane. But I think a lot of you guys are ready to move on. So we're going to do this twirl first. We're going over and back. Gradually increasing your speed. And then put it into the other hand. So again, from the side, the long side is just coming out of your thumb, and you're keeping your hand closed, not tight, closed and relaxed, but firm. If any of that makes sense, right? We put those all together. They seem contradictory, but they're not. Gradually increase the speed, stomach up and in, abs tight. Go over and back in front of the body. Yeah, it has to be a little open. Good question. Excellent question. Yeah, so if you look, my hand is a little open. There's just a little, it's a little bit, right? It's a feel, you'll get a feel for it. But the answer is yes, a little open, or it's not gonna spin through it. Start to speed that up. And when I speed it up, I feel almost immediately that my midsection has to squeeze. So I know I'm getting good postural support. I'm starting to get taller, stronger, starting to lean out faster, all from doing the spin. The other reason I'm having you do that is because you're going to be sliding your hand up and down your cane to get it in the right position, depending on how you're going to defend yourself, what kind of strike, what kind of technique you're going to use. And by doing this, you're building callus on your hands, a very practical way, right? Your skin's getting thicker, but you're also getting proprioception, or feel for how that thing moves and how your hand's going to move up and down on the side. Now, go right into a strike. I want you to start with it in the right hand again. Step into the attack, put the hands up, or step back. But either way, you want to remember that the cane goes between you and the threat. So if you're stepping in, like I like to do, I like to close distance quickly. From here, then I can defend myself. Whichever technique I'm going to use, I'm going to step forward. You might like to go back, or instinctively go back, but just make sure when you can, get that cane between you and the threat. Keep it in the front hand. So from here, your cane is in the right. I want you to strike with the right, strike with the left. We're going to warm up with 2 strikes in this second workout. We're just going to get there faster today. Gradually start to increase your speed. About 30 seconds, and then immediately into the other hand. Step in with that foot or step back. Remember, the cane goes between you and the threat. And slow at first. Gradually increasing your speed. Try to go through that full range of motion. And I put the chair out today because I wanted to show you both of those first 2 exercises can be done from a seated position. So sit as tall as you can. One hand here, I like to keep them up. And then you're going to go over and back. And then to the other hand for 30 seconds. Over and back. And then the second exercise was from here, that protected position. I just turn into it a little bit. So I don't know if you can see from the side. I'll just show you from standing. I'm sitting, I turn. And that's how I get that cane between me and you, between me and the threat. So from the seated position, stomach tight, and you might not be in a chair. You might not have to use a chair, but But I do want you to practice this from time to time because I want you to be able to take your cane with you on the plane, on a train, a bus, a park bench, sitting in a movie theater, I don't know. You're sitting somewhere and all of a sudden you have to have a protected position, right? You're bringing your cane sometimes with you, not because you need to use it for mobility or because you do, but your secondary purpose is for self-defense. You have a self-defense tool, one of the most effective self-defense tools. So from here, whether you need the chair or not, practice in the chair, get in that better position, practice those first 2 strikes. You're gonna feel it's a little different, which is why it's so valuable to practice from this position. And then in the other hand, turn that shoulder a little bit, same thing, get them out of there. And you can see that guy's coming in at me fast. I'm here, I can jab there, I can strike all from the seated position, and they're all very powerful. So don't ever discount the fact that you can defend yourself or don't think that you can't if you're sitting down because either you have to or you're sitting for whatever reason and then they rush up on you quickly from a seated position can defend yourself. Now you've done the first 2 exercises, the spins and the strikes. And here's where I'd like you to add some leg work. And the purpose of doing these assisted squats with the cane is to lean you out faster, get you strong, get you fighting fit, build power in the legs. Just because we're doing this martial arts weapon or a self-defense weapon doesn't mean that we don't every once in a while throw a kick, stomp the foot, stomp down, kick straight in, throw a knee, but that's not even all. You also, every single one of these strikes are coming off of the ground through your legs. That's your foundation. You need a strong foundation. So you might have great technique here, but if you have weak legs, weak knees, weak hips, or they're too stiff, you don't move very well, that might be your reality, but you gotta practice. You can move better when you start to practice. So what we're gonna do, using the assisted, or the cane as an assist, allows you to get more mobility than if you were just doing it in the air. Thanks, George. I really appreciate that. Fantastic. Those stickers or those kudos, as it were, really helped me get these done. I appreciate that super chat. So you're going up and down. Now I want to show you again, going back to the chair, how if you're not ready to stand all the way up, you can push forward a little bit, and you're using the cane, you're pushing off. Now, if you simply can't do that, you simply can't do that. If you can do more than that, if you can stand up and sit down, but if standing up and sitting down is usually harder for you without the cane, now you have the extra benefit of building power in the legs and starting to increase your mobility, confidence in your strength. And just like I said before, practicing sitting in the chair, even though you might not need to sit in a chair, is going to help you become better with your self-defense cane. Practicing those stand up, sit down, you want to get that heart rate up really fast, burn fat really fast, get lean, get young, get healthy and strong, more mobility, more flexibility. Just try this. Sit down, standing up, all the way down, and you use that cane, and that allows you to do more. And the more you do, the more you're going to be able to do. It's all about capacity and building strength. Back to our basic training. You have the first strike, second strike, turn your hand, bring it up, and bring it up. So it's an X down and an X up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason for practicing this way is to get you immediately into the mindset of having some basic techniques that you can do. Someone comes running into you, you get your hands up, verbal commands, stop, back up, I'll defend myself. You have that first strike, second strike, third strike, and you have 4 basic strikes from the start. From the first day you get your walking cane or your self-defense cane. So the first 2 come down, think shoulder down, and then think hip up, and you're just going through their body. And when you come up, your palm is facing the sky. So if you run into their body as resistance, or their cane, their stick, maybe they're, it's a wild dog or a vicious dog running through the street, trying to maul people, and they're coming after you. You run into that. When your palm is up, it's not gonna come out of your hand. If your palm is in the wrong position, your palm is down while you're coming up, it's gonna peel that cane out very quickly. So you're gonna hit them like this, hit them like this. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, up. After 30 seconds, do that other side, 2 down, 2 up, gradually increasing speed. Always by the end of that 30 seconds, you wanna be hitting as hard and as fast as you can, because you want to train the way you're going to fight. A lot of times people do their self-defense training or their martial arts training, and they get it real pretty. They simply go too slow. And then they have to use it, and they get winded really fast, and they're just too slow. And you watch them, you're like, why is he fighting so slow? And I've seen it, you see it in tournaments. That's an obvious situation. But you also see it when people are attacked. They just react too slow. So you want to train yourself to go as hard and as fast as you can, and so that you can flip that switch when you need it for self-defense, that you're going all in, and when you go all in, you're going all in with speed, ferocity, violence of action. That's the words I'm looking for. You want that violence of action. You want to overwhelm the other person for self-defense. You want to overwhelm, especially if it's more than one attacker. You've got multiple attackers. There's no time to be slow and pretty. And Moose, you've got to just viciously attack here, smash here, go all in over here. Yeah, it's got to be instinctive. You're right. It's got to just come out of your muscle. It's got to be muscle memory. That's what we talk about. After you've done that standing, practice it sitting. So it's down, down, up, up. 30 seconds each side. At the end, as hard and as fast as you possibly can. Ridiculous speed. That was the term in that movie, ridiculous speed. So you're going to do it that way. Now, we're going to go back to a strengthening exercise. I want you to step in with a lunge. I'm going to move the chair so that you can see. And I'm going to show you from the side. I'm holding it in the right hand. I'm just taking a small step, and then I go down just a little bit. Then I step with the other one. I go down just a little bit. These are not deep, long lunges across the gym. You can do that if that's where you are. That's great. But if you're starting out again, just a tiny bit. Just enough to start to get, again, the blood flowing, start to lean your body out, start to get stronger, faster, lubricate the joints, stabilize the knees. This is going to stabilize the knees, and it's going to build the glutes on the side. Most men especially, they get that rolled forward bum, they get that flat bum, and their glutes get so weak, and that just wrecks their posture. Their belly sticks out like this, their head guts like this. They look 10, 15 years older than they have to because of posture. The same is true for women, but it hits them in a different way. Whether you're a man or woman, young or old, this exercise is going to start to get you stronger, healthier, while building powerful, explosive knockout muscles in your foundation. So even if you never throw a kick or a knee, that strike is all coming off the floor. You're gonna hit harder, you're gonna hit so much faster, and you're gonna be more safe. So that's right hand. I'm just gonna do this 30 seconds, stepping forward. Go not very far, don't go very deep. Go short and shallow at first. And then, as the weeks go by, start to go longer and lower to the floor. See if I get back here, I'm almost in the wall. And again, because I have my cane, it takes a lot of the pain out of the knee and out of the hip that you might have felt if you tried to do it without that. So this is an assisted, a way to get there a lot faster. You're gonna get stronger faster. Now, new technique, right foot forward, right hand, it's up. This is a simple figure eight motion. And I know a lot of you know how to do this already. From the Joe staff, or the bow, or the nunchucks, it's all the same. And it's this. It's this spin, this combat bow spin, or combat cane spin. So combat cane spinning, if you're a combat cane spinner, that's what this is, right? You know that. I'm gonna go up a little bit more off the crook onto the shaft, and I'm going to come down and around. Now, what this is going to do for you is increase the speed of those strikes, because you're building that tightness, that flexibility, speed, the compactness in your wrist. The tendons are getting stronger, healthier. The muscles are getting stronger. So what you're gonna do is you're just going in this simple figure 8 motion. And it's, again, it's exactly the same as this, but it's gonna feel so different because your hand's here. At first it will, and then later you'll be like, oh, that's the same. And you're going forward and back, forward and back. Now, are you going to use that if somebody comes up to try to get in your face and you're like, back up? I don't think, I wouldn't. I'm going to, because I don't want to let them time this twist, this twirl, right? I don't want it. When you are defending yourself, think about, you know, like bow staff, you've got all these spins. We don't use those spins in the fight. We use strike, 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 like that, right? It's the same with this. When I'm defending myself, I'm using 1, 2. I'm using this strike. I'm using this strike, this strike. I was watching Master Gary Hernandez. Does anybody watch his video today? I know some of you guys follow him too. A great instructor. If you haven't done so, go check out Master Gary Hernandez, cane techniques or something like that. But he's carrying it like this in the video today. And he's punching this way. He's punching this way. He does it much better than I do. So don't take my word for it. But he made a lot of sense. He's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I hadn't even thought of it that way. And then striking across this way. That I did. I've known about that one for a long time. I've never thought, I just didn't, I don't know why. I never thought about this, never thought about that. But he had a great video on that today. So go check that out if you haven't already. Doing this technique might not be used for self-defense on the street for you, but it's conditioning the body. It's getting everything stronger, faster. You're hitting harder, getting your heart rate up. It's just like a boxer who jumps rope, right? They're doing all the fancy footwork. They don't use that in the ring. What they use in the ring is the cardiovascular fitness that brings. What they use in the ring is the conditioning in the legs, the toughness from all that bouncing. What they use in the ring is the timing. And so when you're practicing this, you're practicing timing and distance. You're getting your heart rate up. You're starting to condition the whole body, the heart, the lungs. You're improving your endurance, flexibility, mobility, all of that. So don't get confused like, oh, that's frivolous. It's not frivolous because it's conditioning. Think of it as cross-training. But conditioning is a better term. It's simply down and back. Then the other hand, same thing. Twirl, twisting, figure 8, kind of a spin or a twirl. That'll gradually get faster and faster and faster. And then I have another new one. We already did the lunges. You can do the lunges behind, stepping back. But I want to show you a new one. And from here, I'm going to step to my right. I'm going to put it in my left. I'm going to step to the left. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Your heart rate's going to go up. You're going to start to break a sweat. You're going to get a lot faster. Now, here's one of the most fundamental rules of self-defense, of fighting. Don't get hit. If you don't have to get hit, don't get hit. If I'm here, that's why a boxer bobs, weaves, ducks, right? They move side to side. A boxer does all these things because if he just stood there, took punch after punch, he might be tough enough to handle it for so long, but no one can handle that forever, right? So a boxer needs to have that good footwork, and they learn to parry, and they move with it. You move with the punch, and once you reach, here's my theory too. Most people, especially in the West, if they go to college, they come out 22, 23, maybe they go to advanced school, master's, PhD. They get a real job, usually between 24 and 28. And then that's it. They stop moving their body in a significant way. They might take up golf, and then they do that for the next 40 years, but nothing else. They might ride a bike, and not everybody. Some people stay fit their whole life, especially if they do martial arts. I've been doing martial arts since I'm 9. So I don't know it personally, but I've seen it a million times. I've had so many adult students come to me of all ages, and they have lost their basic fitness and the basic life skills and survival skills. So, something's coming at you, a car's coming at you, you gotta pop, get out of the way. People can't do that. It's silly as that seems, right? Punches coming to your face, moving to the side, throwing a couple punches, coming out of the way, hit them on the side. Same thing with the cane. They're coming here, boom. You're moving as they're coming through like a charging bull and full of rage and adrenaline. You're hitting and you're over here, and that's instinctive, but when your body goes to do it, you can't do it because you haven't used those muscles. You haven't worked this, you haven't gone laterally. You haven't moved side to side, let alone at the angles, front and back here, right? And these should all be natural moves. We're all born with that. But I've seen over and over and over again as people age, and I'm not talking about 60, 70, 80, I'm talking about 28, 30, 35, 40. They do the same thing. A lot of people sit 8 hours a day, drive to and from work or ride, bus, train, especially in these Western countries. And then they binge watch Netflix now, but they watch TV 6, 7 hours a night, and then they fall asleep on the couch or in the bed watching the TV. They wake up. It's a military term. I had to explain this to my wife recently. It's SSS. The first one, I'll let you guess. The second two are shower and shave. So you put aside time for eating, and S, shower and shave, going to the bathroom. That's as active as most people are, right? And so when you train, I want you to do all of these basic techniques. We're going to go over the last 3 strikes, but I also want you to move side to side. And to do that, you're going to use to the right first, to the right, switch, to the left, switch. And again, the cane is now assisting me. I'm putting a little weight on the cane, and you can go slowly at first. If this seems ridiculously easy, speed it up. So start to go faster and faster. I want you to make it instinctive. When you start to get out of the way for that fight, you're not going to break anything, and you're just naturally going to be moving sideways and not back. The problem with moving back, you start fighting, it's instinctive to move back. First thing I'm going to run into is this chair. I can see it there, right? I can see it out of the corner of my eye, but I don't see that in the fight. And then I'm tumbled to the ground. The guy's down and smashing my head into the ground, chunk of concrete. Or I'm fighting back, and I run into a wall, and I'm pummeled against the wall. Usually what happens is you're going to trip and you'll be on the ground. But if you learn how to fight and move to the side, I've done it many times, both in tournament for self-defense and for like protection classes, run the scenarios or whatever. People get so focused on going after you. You're going this, they're going this way. You move to the side. It's so much easier for you to now defend yourself. All right, so practice that to the side, slow at first, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like I said, if you want to make it harder, go faster from the start. Add a little kind of a hop, not a jump. Jumping, when you jump, you're in the air. It's easy to catch you because it takes time to go up and down. To the side, Keep your feet close to the ground. Get really good at not tripping over your feet. Your feet are going to get stronger. You're going to stop rolling your ankles. Your heart rate's going to come up. You're going to get stronger hips. You're going to be more flexible. You're going to see your mobility increase, your endurance increase. Strength is definitely going to increase. And flexibility. Your sense of well-being goes through the roof as you feel more fit. Back to the strikes. We have down, down, up, up. Now horizontal, back, finish with a vertical, straight down the middle, and then immediately put it in the other hand. So it's now that we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikes. We're just going to switch every time. Still 30 seconds. 1, 2, 4, and fast. After 30 seconds of that, I want you to add this last one to strengthen your body. Working a lot lower body this class. Second session. I have in my right hand. I'm going to lift my right foot and my left foot. Right, and these are super low kicks. Think of it, people discount this all the time. They think like all kicks should be a certain height or technique or whatever. Just kick him in his shin. Kick him in his ankle. And what you're doing, you're going to lift the knee, push the foot. Lift the knee. See if I can get that in there. There we go. Lift, push. And nothing fancy. You don't have to be barefoot. You can be wearing your shoes. You're leaning. 30 seconds. If it's too easy, lift those knees, get the kicks up. But do some basic low kicks. Get that heart rate up. Build power in the legs. You might use those. You're hitting him here. He gets too close. You gotta throw a kick. Elbow, right? Then you come back, create that distance. The elbow, the knee. We're gonna go over all that. All right. Last set of strikes. So the same thing. 1, 2. I'm just building this fighting set. I'm gonna take this, step in, bayonet strike. Right foot, right hand, I go down, down. You're gonna come up, up, come across, come back. When you come across, palm is up. The same way that when you came up here, you're gonna come through this way. Palm up, palm down, straight down the middle, support it with the other hand, step in, strike, other hand. That foot's forward, this is my left hand, left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow, smooth as fast. Take your time at the beginning, gradually increasing the speed, the power, strength of the technique. And final exercise, you're throwing in a block. From here, bring it up. So it's on the ground. Before you know it, you see this coming right at your face, right? And it's funny, sometimes time slows down, seems to slow down as that's coming in to smash your teeth. And you got caught off guard. If you're paying attention, or if you didn't get caught, because they can trick too, right? And you're here, this is better. This is always best. Because he's not gonna punch your stick. You put that in his line of sight. The cane goes between you and the threat. Right now, you're where the threat would be. It interrupts your line of sight. You gotta look around, try to hit me, right? So this is best. But let's say we're not there. From here, the guy's mouthing off. All of a sudden, he's coming straight in with that punch. And a lot of people think it's gonna be a big haymaker. Sometimes it is. We're talking about a straight punch right now. Haymaker, we're gonna do a little differently. But from here, I want you to just lift and turn your palm out. Now, this cane, as his punch is coming in, hopefully will intersect and lift his arm, right? He's coming in here. Now, you might catch it on the hand. You're probably not going to be before. I mean, if he's throwing that punch, you're going to have to get that cane up. You're not going to be able to move fast enough. That's why this is always a better position, starting in this position, because your brain's just not fast enough. The message can't get there fast enough. Even if your hand's here and he throws that punch, so he's going to hit you and then your hand's going to go up. But if you have good technique, and this is important, so good technique means that as it's rising, it's going to catch him somewhere. And maybe he hits your chin, right? He hits you a little bit, but you're going to lift it and then you're going to come around and crack him with it. So that's the final exercise. Practice this. Strike. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just up and over. Up. That's all we've got for today for this second workout. I'll see you guys on the very next one. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing.